Oh man. Oh, there you go again. I don't know why. All right, family. I don't know why my computer does it. Every time I start, I do apologize. I don't know why. When I start my live, my computer does something really weird. I don't, this has been something new. So I have to shut it down and come back on. I don't know, but it only does it when I'm on live doing StreamYard. Okay. So I don't know if it's something through StreamYard or what, but yeah, it's something really super crazy. It goes on. Hey, wanted you guys, wanted to talk to you guys about some things. I am here finally. Hold on, you guys. And I know I've been trying to get on this live since 1 o'clock, and it's been one phone call after another. I've been dealing with some things, just oh God, family. It just a lot of stuff, right? And you have to you want to be available for people. You want to be available when it's time. And because if I need some help, I know they'll be there for me. So y'all forgive me running late, but I'm back now. I'm here, ready to go. Got some great things that I want to talk to you guys about. I want to talk about this balloon that has been flying over my area, and I want to talk to you in regards to this a Ghanaian, the army, a Guyana guy that was on um, Guyana, and a U.S. Army person that was fighting, and the Army person, which was an American soldier, did murder his brother. And I want to talk about that a little bit. What is going on with Black people, where we are not regarding other lives? Okay, it's getting really to the point where we just will kill each other. And I don't know if it's because of the trauma that we're experiencing due to other people, characteristics. Because when you tend to be around other people and connected to other cultures, we tend to take on their characteristics. And I don't believe that we're understanding that. And as long as we've allowed them to educate our children, we got an issue. Houston, we had a problem. And I see it getting a lot worse because we're now going to leave this mess to our children. And I want us to really talk about this situation now with this China, and how America allowed a balloon to surface for so long and didn't shoot it down. And the balloon was here weeks, I think a whole week. And America didn't think to shut it down, didn't think to destroy it the first day. When we first saw it, America should have taken care of it. But I want to read this to you, and I want us to really dive into this. This really shocked me because I didn't know it was hovering over my area. Okay, in the North Carolina area, I didn't understand that it was in that area, right in the area. But let's talk about that. I'm going to share my screen, you guys. I'm going to try to. My boy forecast kind of showed me how. I'm hoping I'm doing it right. How am I doing right? Because he said go into share. I'm like, oh my goodness. Trying to see what. I already know that part. He said it's something else that I'm supposed to see here. Um, doop 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 doop. Hold on, you guys. Entire screen. That's what I'm missing up there. Okay, and then I'm gonna hit done. All right, you guys. I think I should be cool here. We should be able to see what I'm trying to share with you guys. Should be able to see. Um, and I'm gonna go up here. Okay, let's look at this. I want you guys to look at this. Okay, let's see what's going on here. China condemns U.S. attack on surveillance balloon as overreaction. Do you guys believe it was an overreaction on U.S. part? I don't believe it was. I'm just saying. Okay. Um, China condemned the U.S. military, okay, decision on Saturday to shoot down a suspected Chinese surveillance balloon that flew over the U.S. last week. A whole week over the U.S. Okay, come on. China strongly disapproves of and protests against the U.S. attack on civilian unmanned airship by force. The Chinese Foreign Ministry said statements on Sunday morning, per the South China Morning Post. Okay, the U.S. use of force is clearly overreaction and a serious violation of international practice. The military added nothing that Beijing reserves the right to make further responses that are necessary. A high altitude surveillance balloon entered U.S. airspace in Alaska on January 28th. Now, this thing has been here since January 28th. Okay, traveling through after briefly traveling through Canada airspace, it returned to the U.S. via Idaho on January 31st and spent the rest of the week traveling the country. Now, I don't understand. I don't know about y'all, but that don't make me feel no better. Knowing that China had a balloon circling in the U.S. for a whole week. Let me ask you a question. Do you think that China would have allowed America to fly a balloon um, with no problems? Do you believe? Do you believe that China would have um, allowed America to fly a balloon? I don't believe they would have. I don't know about you, but I don't believe that they would have allowed us to fly our balloons over there in their country. Okay. But they want to come over here and think that we're going to allow them to fly a balloon in our country, right? No, we're not going to allow that. Okay. So let me continue reading. They really had an attitude. Okay. But come on. So Beijing confirmed on Friday that the balloon was Chinese, but claimed that it was primarily used for meteorology research and has been blown off course. Let me tell you something. That's the biggest lie I've ever heard. Now, China got a whole balloon. Okay. This is crazy. Now, that balloon had been first entered the U.S. airspace in Alaska on 28th, and then it went to Canada. But do you guys believe that? I don't believe that it was a meteor. What he call it? He said it was a meteorology research. Why didn't you do it in China? Why is it over here? Okay, why is your balloon over here? Amani for medicine. Amani. Why would you think that China? Why was the balloon here? I'm scratching my head because I don't understand. But China said it got blown off course. Do you believe that? I don't. The Chinese side regrets the unintended entry of the airship into the U.S. airspace due to force. What's that? Madre ministry spokesperson said. However, American officials have maintained that the balloon was surveilling strategic sites within the U.S., leading Secretary of State Anthony whoever to postpone his trip to Beijing on Friday. Okay, TikTok pressure, whatever. Okay. We have noted the People's Republic of China statement of regret, but the presence of this balloon in our Air Force is a clear violation of our uh, sovereignty as well as international law, and is unacceptable that this has occurred. Um, a senior State Department official said the Chinese Foreign Ministry hit back at the U.S. on Saturday in the statement, alleging that some politicians and the media have hyped up the situation in order to attack and smear China. The U.S. military waiting to shoot down the balloon until they waited to shoot down the balloon. They didn't get it right away, which it should have. China knew it was here. So if we're talking about shooting it down, why didn't China remove it itself? Hey, Bakari, peace and blessings. Like as you guys saying, so the U.S. military waited to shoot the balloon down until Saturday afternoon when it was over waters off the coast of South Carolina due to safety concerns. It is now working to recover debris and intelligence information, according to the official. But that balloon was all over. It was in Wilmington. It was in Myrtle Beach. It was over South Carolina into North Carolina. It was. I mean, that thing was all over. So my thing is, and they said it was in prevalent areas where probably some secrets and stuff was, and that thing should have been blown out, honey. Ain't no way in the world. There's no way that we China would have allowed America into their waters with a balloon or into their country with a balloon. I don't care what nobody say. That I thought that was so funny though that we even allowed it to be in the air that long. Okay. I had to bring that up because I just saw that one. That wasn't even a real point that I wanted to talk about, but I just thought it was very, very weird and how China said, "Oh my God, it's a mistake. It is, we doing, it was blown off course for." That's the first thing, and then they said, "Oh, it was just a media. What do they call it? A media or something." Okay, and I guess they were surveilling. They knew what they were doing. You have to watch what they. I don't care what nobody say. I don't care. No, you can't do. You cannot have a balloon and you circling inside of another person's country. And no, because China wouldn't have allowed us to do that, right? Okay, let's see what else we got. I thought that was kind of cute though. That one was funny though to me. I'm sorry. That was really cute. That was funny. Now, my next one, I wanted to talk a little bit about this lady, this. Wait a minute, before I get to her, we're gonna talk about her, but I want to talk about this one here. And my main thing is black folk. What we're gonna do? Let me see. What we're gonna do? Okay, what are we gonna do about this? Read the title. We have got to stop, and it's not getting any better. But if we don't understand how it all began, how are we going to fix it if we don't understand what it's all about, right? You have a Ghanaian American, I don't know, U.S. In U.S. Army killed by fellow soldiers doing altercation. Okay, and the one that killed him was also a black guy. But for one, help me to understand this: we are allowing our children to sign up to fight for a country that hate them, right? We're allowing our children to go and fight their wars. We're allowing our children to die for oil, not for humanity, not for the freedom of this country. We're dying here, okay? But we're not even fighting. We're not even at war. Everybody else is at war but us. We don't even know we're at war. But we're dying. And I hear people saying, "Oh my God, if we do this, we're gonna die." I'm like, sweetheart, we're dying already. So let's die for uh let's die for freedom. Okay. If we're gonna die, let's die for us. Let's die for us for our freedom. Okay. But we're in service and things are happening and we're fighting other countries. Like we was in Afghanistan, what, 20 years? And a lot of, we died there. And it wasn't for our freedom. It wasn't for the freedom in America, because I tell you what, we were coming back and they were one guy got pepper sprayed in his uniform. He was an army vet or army, he was in the army going back to service or whatever, riding around his uniform, and a police officer pulled him out the car and sprayed him, maced him, and then he sued and they gave him $3,000. That's a slap in the face. But this, I want us as Black people to start helping our children understand, why are we sending our children to fight for a country that literally hates you, a country that has everything set up for your demise, a country that literally is not even trying to do anything for you, trying to won't do anything for you, has never did anything for you, and everything that they set up for you, they use for the Chinese, they use for every Mexicans, they use for everybody but you. Civil rights movement is not used for us because our civil rights is being violated all the time, every day. But that civil rights bill is not used for us, it's gaslighting us, and it's used for other countries, other people, right? Other cultures. And we're not mad about that. So now We have to start teaching our children. Okay, we have to start parenting on purpose. And I'm gonna tell you, I for one taught my daughters, we're not going to the service. You're going to college or you're going to go to a trade school. But you will go somewhere, but you won't go there. And I made it my point to tell them why. I said, as long as they're treating you the way, as long as they're treating us black people, which as a collective whole, the way I see them treating us, you're not fighting for a country that hates you. You're not going to give up your freedom, and you're going to fight for another person's freedom when you're not free yourself. That just makes no sense to me at all. I can see why they fought back in the day. They was civil rights, as far as the North and the South, blah, blah, blah. They was fighting them slaves. They was fighting for their freedom. That's different. We're not fighting for our freedom now. They're sending our children into, overseas, and they're fighting for oil. I'm not fighting for this country's oil. I'm just not willing to do it. I'm just not willing to do it. Let's talk about this a little bit. We have to get to the point where we are changing some things that we've put in place. We have to now see that those things aren't working and begin to change them. We as black people will see something. We'll see the church hasn't worked. We'll see the church was put in. And a guy friend of mine, we're talking about this. He goes, Cassie, it seems like we as black people aren't believing in the church. I said, let me tell you why. I said, the church was put here for us to, yes, to have hope, but the church used us, and the church advocated for abortion. The church advocated for a jab. You know what I mean? The church advocated for a lot of stuff that they shouldn't have been advocating. They should have been advocating for job on the job training. They should have been advocating for us becoming business owners. They should have been advocating for to talk to us about stuff that was coming in our neighborhood, like when Nixon and Reagan put the drugs in our neighborhood, when they took the jobs from our men. They should have said, okay, family, this is those should have been our think tanks, right? They should have said, okay, family, I'm seeing right now the drugs are in our neighborhood. This is what we're going to do. Let's try to do it this way, because a lot of black folk collectively come to church on Sundays. That's where you get your message out. And those pastors should have been on one accord to say, okay, this Sunday, we're going to talk about the drugs that's in our neighborhood. We're going to talk about our families being disrupted. We're going to talk about the crack and cocaine. We're going to talk about the issues that I see in the neighborhood where you're having more about baby mamas, where I see the men are leaving their families, or the women are putting them out, or whatever happened back in the 70s when they first took the jobs. That should have been an issue. We should have been talking about that. Then they turned around and said, told us, we're going to give you these bank benefits, dangled some little welfare check in your face, but you couldn't have your man. But we're the only culture that they do that too. They don't do that when Mexicans and Spanish folk come over here. They don't do that when the Asian immigrants come over here. They only do it to black people. And then they'll give you, we're going to put you on Section 8, but you can't have your man there. Can't have your husband there. You can't have your baby daddy. Tell me, why is it so important for our families to separate? We have to understand, when the male is not there in a home, you're going to have a home that's out of order, out of sync. And when the head is out of sync, the whole body is out of sync. You have to understand it was done on purpose. That would have been a great topic for the church to talk about and say, hey, this is what we need to do. This is how we're going to combat that. Ladies, we're not going to do this. 2 checks is better than 1. Yes, sometimes people have to see the vision. And if you, as the pastor, can see the vision, pass it down. Those pastors should have been getting, now you got this connection, right? From my understanding, pastors had that connection with God, right? Okay. It should have been a plan to counteract. Just like Moses had a plan. God talked to him. This is what we're going to do. He came back down after 40 days in the mount, right? And he had a plan, laid the plan out. This is what we're going to do. What happened to that with the church? What happened to that when black folk needed the church to teach and to help us to realize, let's see the mountain. We see these drugs. We see the drugs. We see the jobs. We see them doing this. We see that they've taken the after school programs. What are we going to do? Churches should have jumped in and said, okay, we're going to have summer programs at the church, not just a week of Bible study. We're going to have summer programs. We're going to have daycares. We'll have after school cares. We're going to do this. We're going to put more time in the community so that we can make sure that we good. That's not what the church did. I can see during COVID and doing when it's really cold outside, why aren't the churches open? Why are they not allowing like the homeless to come in and get, bunks, or have some bunks or covers and cots in the basement for some of these homeless people? I'm just saying, these are things that should have been done in our community that wasn't done. It was never done. It should have been, though. So that was my when my stance on the church and why the church didn't do what they were supposed to do. And he was like, well, he was saying, well, Cassie, seemed like you wanted the church to be your parents. I said, no, I wanted the church to do what they were put on this earth to do. And what they were put on the earth to do was a healing ground for after we came out of slavery. It should have been a healing ground for where black, a safe haven, a healing ground for black folk. And it wasn't. What the churches did was partnered with Planned Parenthood and Margaret Sanger. Yeah, and partnered with other government facilities that we had no business partnering with, because we all know what the government did and done. And it didn't help us to recognize the damage. And when they was talking about, oh, let's come together, when Martin Luther King had this great uh, dream or nightmare, I should say, then the churches stepped in and said, brother, that's not what it is. The word of God says, blah, blah, blah. And Deuteronomy tells you not to mix and mingle. And we have lost that because we still have people. I know people say, oh, I got a whole slew of, all kind of people in my family. That's not, and this is why black folk are going through what we're going through right now. He never told you to mix and mingle with them. He never told you. And we as black people are not teaching this to our sons, and not to, and or our daughters now, not to mix and mingle your seed. You can't have you, and that's the part that we dropped the ball. He told us to never to forget, never to stop passing it. He told the women, you are supposed to be teachers for the young girls, right? That's not what we're doing. So now you got this, black on black. Okay, quote unquote. I don't hate that term because I don't believe it's black on black anything. I believe everybody kills who they're around. Asians kill Asians, Jews kill Jews, Germans kill Germans. We can see Ukraine and Russia. Why don't white crime? Nobody talks about that, do you? But you always have these little code words that white supremacy uses, and then black folk take up and run with these little white supremacy words, verbiage. We have to begin to understand and stop taking up their talking points. If that's what they say, you shut that down. Honey, it's white on white crime. I'll tell them in a minute. Russia and Ukraine getting down right now, and we don't even understand how close we are to World War III. They are surrounding the U.S. and people in the U.S. It never happened to us, but I do believe that they're going to hit us, and they're going to hit us hard, and when we least expect it. And now is a great time because we got so much going on in America right now. We got this, the police shoot. We got a lot of stuff going on. That would be the best time to hit America. But let's talk a little bit about this and help us to understand what's really going on. We got to stop. This is crazy. So this Ghanaian American family in the U.S. is mourning the passing of their son who died at a military base in Alabama. Okay. The news has left the family and close friends and the deceased soldier in trauma and shock. According to the military, 21-year-old soldier, Private Abdul Masfu Latu, okay, y'all know what I'm saying, was killed in an altercation with another soldier at the Alabama Army post, Fort Rucker, where he was training to become an Army air traffic controller operator. And if you're doing that, you ain't no dummies getting up in that program. Okay. The source revealed that news about his demise was published on local websites in Alabama as early as 11:30 a.m. CST time, even though his next of kin, was officially called 4 hours later to report that he had been hospitalized and in critical condition. At that time, they didn't even tell the family that he was dead, but they told him he was in critical condition. Private Abdul, until joining the Army, lived in New York. He was described as a very smart and respectful by all who have encountered him. As relative, friends, and neighbors are visiting his New York home to mourn with the family, eulogies and questions continue to pour in. He was full of life and one of the smartest lads I've come across, a neighbor said. I cannot seem to comprehend this news because Latifu will not fight anyone for any reason. At best, he walks away. Okay. Okay, I'm not even going to comment on that one. So I'm dumbfounded by it, to say the least another maintain. Sometimes it's not right about this. Something is not right about this. Someone needs to start saying what really happened, not what they're feeling. They're feeding us. What are they covering up? A teary friend in the deceased lamented in disbelief. Preliminary comments from Jimmy, a Fort Rucker public information officer, only spoke to events surrounding the hospitalization of the deceased fellow, injuries sustained during the supposed altercation. Trying to see, okay. The communication also suggests the detention of another soldier involved in the incident, but falls short of identifying him or her. The alleged attack is said to have used an army issued steel folding shovel. Oh, wow. In the assault that cost Private Latufi his life. Wow. What in the world? A follow up statement issued by the U.S. Aviation Center of Excellence and Fort Rucker said no formal charges have been filed, but Army Criminal Investigation Davidson's agents are probing the incident. Major Green Michael McCurry, the commander of Fort Rucker, stated on behalf of the U.S. Army Activation Center of Excellence and Fort Rucker, I extend our deepest condolences to Private Lutufi's family, friends, and community. In a statement, together we mourn the loss of a promising young soldier. Lieutenant Latufi was a trainee in the Army Advanced Individual Training Program at Fort Rucker, where he was assigned to the 1st Battalion, 13th Aviation Regiment, 1st Aviation Brigade. Loved ones and close friends of the murdered soldier says the communication from the military smacks of a seeming cover up. It is unclear how far investigations have gone to the murder of 21-year-old son, brother, uncle, promising soldier, but the Army maintains it is conclusively probing the matter. Okay. That is just, that's crazy. That is so sad on all levels. But this is a young man that died, and from my understanding, it was another black young man that did it. But I couldn't find his picture. But yeah, that's unfortunate. This young brother has lost his life, and it's just so unfortunate how we are so ready. And it's not just us, it's just that we've taken on other cultures' characteristics because we already know who comes to kill, steal, and destroy. And this is a characteristic that we've just have taken on. And this is what happens when you mix and mingle with people you have no business mixing and mingling with. You will pay the consequences, unfortunately. Okay. Because I had a friend that was talking about pray for our children. And I asked him, I said, until we remove our children out of their schools and away from under their control and under their thumb, nothing will change. Because our children are also taking on their characteristics and they act just like they are teaching our children how to act toward us. And they are teaching our children how to act toward each other. And unfortunately, they're not teaching them something positive. And we tend to treat our own the same way they are treating us, and we just perpetuate it down the line, down to the next person, which is very unfortunate. Okay. But this is our brother right here, and I think it's so sad. But let's just I just feel so bad because we don't understand what happened. Well, nobody was there, but what happened to us this fight? What happened to that? I miss those days where I can get up, go and slap somebody, and I miss those days where I can get up and slap somebody and still be okay and still live. We can't do that now. You get up and slap somebody, you're gonna die. You better be ready. You better have Lucy, which is some other stuff. Which I'm not gonna be here long, you guys. I was already kind of late and stuff, and but I want us to talk about this right here, and I want us to help me to understand that the Memphis police chief, what's her name, Carolyn Davis, fired for previous Atlanta job after botching sex crime probe. But she was caught in some mess in Georgia, and then they turned around and she was able to work in North Carolina. But my thing is, I am so tired of seeing black white supremacy faces. I'm sick of looking at black folk that are allowing white supremacy to hire them to do their bidding, and you hurt your own, but you look like me. This woman needs to be dealt with. I do not condone violence. I condone justice, and I'm so tired. And I don't know if this is what God mean about the wheat and the tear, but eventually you're able to tear the wheat. You're able to tell the wheat from the tear apart, right? I'm looking at her, but I'm looking at her actions, and her action tells me that she's a white supremacist. You have a lot of black chiefs in the police department that have come up through the ranks that think just like them because they've been so around them. So, and I'm gonna tell you what I was, and let me just go there. I used to be a guard, okay, in the jail, and I was a guard. And I'm gonna tell no, let me go back. Let me just go back when I was training as a deputy sheriff. This was oh God, this was, but I think I was probably maybe 25, 27, something like that. And I was on this job and I was training to become a sheriff deputy because I really believed that that was what I wanted to do. But I'm gonna tell you, once I got in the academy, they don't just allow any black person in there. And I often talk about this. It was trauma for me. It was very hard. They was on my butt. Like, I mean, I could not look left and they would be on me. And I couldn't do anything. I mean, when I came out of there, my photo was this thick, right? It was so thick. I was like, what in the world? They had me. I mean, it was so hard because first it was a Mexican lady. They was on her and I was looking, I was like, oh, thank God it's not me. But then after they got rid of her, then they horned in on me, and I was like, oh my God. Because I mean, they were on her. No, we saw it, but nobody said anything. Then they brought in IA to talk about, because she brought her charges on them. Brought in IA, and IA was talking about the different, what happened. And I'm like, I went to IA. I said, how are you asking us about what we thought about how they treated her, and we still in the academy? You need to wait till we get out the academy, then we can freely speak. But right now, ain't nobody speaking about nothing because everybody was covering themselves about, was concerned about their jobs and stuff. But I'm telling you, I've seen people like her before. We've worked with people that look just like her that will do bidding for white supremacy. They can hire them. They can hire us to do anything for them. If the price is right, just like the whole Black Caucus, they won't even address police brutality. Just like Kamala Harris, you went to that boy's funeral, but you ain't done nothing for him. You won't even write a damn bill. But your family, his family, had the nerves to allow Al Sharpton and a whole lot of other sellouts there, Kamala Harris, to come and speak to that family. To speak to who? What do you have to say? Are you bringing a check for one? Are you telling me how you're going to stop this from happening to somebody else? Did you write a bill? I'm not going to let you just stand up there just to produce to campaign at my son's funeral or whoever. You should have bought a check, and they should have said, okay, this is the legislation, because it happened what? It happened 2 weeks ago. They could have had some legislation out already that said, okay, this is the legislation we have out already. With we're going to take away qualified immunity. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. We're going to redirect some things. Some money going to go towards social services, mental health. So the mental health will come out instead of police officers. We won't even send them out. And we're going to do this we're going to let the police officer take care of the murders or whatever they're supposed to do. But my thing is, I believe that we need to defund them for one. Okay, because these thugs in blue have just gotten off the chain, and we are not doing anything about it. And that is why they had no business coming to this boy's funeral speaking about anything. They didn't come up with a plan. They didn't come. Well, they didn't have anything to say. But I'm like, what are you talking about? What could you possibly have to say at this young man's funeral? Besides, the George Floyd bill hadn't even passed. It passed in the House. We had the Democratic House and the Senate, right? But neither one it passed in one, but it didn't pass in anything in the other. But both was Democratic. So tell me what happened. That's another story for another day. But I'm just saying. But they still want you to keep voting for them. Voting for what? That's what I keep saying. Our ancestors died for us to vote for people that was going to do something for you. They didn't die for you to just put a person like her in office, a person that had a black face that wasn't going to do nothing for you. That's not our ancestors. That's not what I'm dying for. That's not what our ancestors died for at all. So when people say that, I'm looking at them cross-eyed because I'm like, that's not why our ancestors died. They didn't die for you to vote for anybody. They died for you for change. They died for you to make a change. They died for you to vote for somebody that's going to do something for you. Like locally, we could vote out the mayors, we can vote in new out chiefs, and we can vote in that out the DAs, and we can vote out these people. But we're not even recognizing the white supremacy faces when we see them. I'm just saying, it is time for us to do something different. Let's talk a little bit about her. Let's go on, because let's see what she done. Let's see how she was running Georgia. But the sad part about it, this lady was running Georgia, got fired from Georgia, and then she was able to go to Memphis and get a job and do the same thing. She had a some kind of hold on, she had a team there in Georgia. Okay, a red, what they call it, a red something they called it. Um when she was in Georgia. I can't remember what they called it, but she had a team there in Georgia, and read something. I can't remember what it was. But then she turned around and did the same thing. And usually, when they build these teams of stinging, like a scorpion thing she had in Memphis, now those are across the board in police departments. Okay, don't just think she came up with the program. Those programs are across the board in black areas because they said, "Oh, we got to fight crime." Who's bringing the drugs in who's bringing the drugs in the black community? Who's bringing drugs? It's always been your government, right? It's still your government. Don't think they stopped after Reagan and Nixon. They didn't stop. They still doing it. Who's bringing in contraband? It's not, black people don't have any plans to fly that stuff in and out. So who's bringing it in? And where's it coming from? You have to understand, fentanyl was coming from China. Yeah, boy, this thing goes a whole lot deeper. So we got a whole lot of folk in government that should be going to jail. You got prisons full with people with drug, with non men, black men who have done non-violent crimes. Okay, that's who you got in prisons. But you guys, so the FBI said that white men are the most violent. Okay, but the less in jail. You got more black men in jail who have committed traffic stops. Okay, maybe had a drug charge for marijuana back in the day, but now it's legal. So when we're gonna let them out? They still in jail from 1982, 1980s, when they was putting a whole lot of black folk in jail because of the crack cocaine. When are they gonna come out of jail? It's like what? How many years later? And they still, come on, you guys, come on. Some areas in America has said, "Oh, okay, having marijuana is legal now." But then some areas like North Carolina, not. So tell me, why is it not across the board? And then Biden said, "Oh, we're gonna do something federally." It doesn't matter what you do federally, especially when it's locally where we're seeing most of the problems. So it doesn't matter what you do federally, because it's not a problem federally. It's more of a problem locally. So anytime that joker write a bill, you got to really dig into his bill to understand what is really going on. Isaac, welcome, 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 welcome. Let's talk about her. Let's see. Okay. The chief, I wish there was a video I could play, but it's not. Okay. Chief of police in Memphis, in charge of the 5 officers, and actually it was 7. We had 2 white boys, and I introduced the last one, but guess what? The 7th is unknown, no name. I cannot find him anywhere. So if somebody has some information on the 7th one, please let me know. I've been looking, no name. They're not even naming him. Now you had 7 officers. It was more people there. They said at least 10. They said at least 10, but they trying to tell you the white boy who made the initial stop didn't have nothing to do, but he tased him, he pulled him out the car. So you had some hands in something somewhere. Okay. But he got January 8th, he was suspended with pay. Officers were fired. He got no charges, and he eventually got fired, but no charges. Okay. So my thing is, tell me why. The 7th officer, same thing, no charges. And I don't know. They're not talking about the 7th officer at all, but I do know that he didn't get any charges. But he's not fired either. Okay, so far. But they say those charges could or whatever. But there was no charges at all. Okay. But my thing is, if you have 7 officers, why are we only seeing 5? You got 7 officers that was at the scene, right? That we know of. Okay. Now there's more, but you only see 5 that they're perpetrating. So you're not going to tell me that this is not a race issue and the race thing. You're not going to tell me that. But let's go ahead and read. Said the Memphis was charged 5 officers who fatally beat and tased And also the white officer said, I hope they stomp his so and so. Okay. That's what the officer said. So if he wasn't there, where was he? Where was he? Yeah, whatever. Missed me with all of it. Motorist Tyree Nichols was fired from, they're talking about the five officers, from a previous law enforcement job after a botched probe. They're talking about her. Carolyn, what's her name? I'm probably pronouncing Cyril, Carolyn. I'm gonna just say C.J. Davis became the first female. And let me ask you a question: why is it we become the first of everything, but we cannot leave with a good record? She was the first female police chief in Memphis history in 2021. Okay, and is currently in the international spotlight after five, I'm gonna say seven cops brutally beat Tyree Nichols. She was fired from Atlanta Police Department in 2008 for her alleged involvement in a sex crime investigating one into the husband of an Atlanta police sergeant, according to the Atlanta, Georgia Constitution. Listen, two detectives accused Davids of telling them not to investigate Terrell Marion Crane, who was married to Sergeant Tanya Crane, after the police department obtained photos of him with underage girls. Did you hear that? She told them not to investigate him. Why? Did she know Terrell? Did she know he was guilty? What did she know? And why would she tell? So now you got police officers that's pedophiles, right? He's messing with underage girls. Okay. Go ahead. Let's continue on. A federal grand jury later indicted Terrell Crane on child pornography. He pled guilty to one count of child pornography in 2008. The newspaper reported. See what I'm saying? But see, my thing is, why? Boy, this is just so. Um, I'm tired. It makes no sense. I cannot make sense of it. I want to talk. I want to go back over here. Okay, this is another one. Um, I don't want to see this. This is not it. Interview the Memphis Chief Police. Okay, this is an interview. So let's go and talk. I hope you guys can hear this. Hopefully, let me know if you guys cannot. Okay, because I think I got my screen set up, but let's try it. Hold on. Oh shoot! Come on. Justice for Tyree! Justice for Tyree! Justice for Tyree! Oh geez.
Scorpion was put together to add extra visibility in the community and also develop relationships with
Can you guys
community
hear it?
members. The acronyms stand for Street
Let me
Crimes
know.
Operations to Restore Peace in Our Neighborhoods. And it basically was that people felt like the police department was allowing gun violence in certain communities. And it wasn't that, it was just that police officers that are responding to calls for service had such high volumes of calls. The whole idea that the Scorpion unit is a bad unit, I just have
Can you guys
a
hear?
problem with that.
See, she said it was
Are you sick of having
okay.
issues
She
with your
said that she
webinars?
had that unit was there to, we saw, we heard what she said. I hope you guys was able to hear it. I didn't see where you, yes, we can hear. Okay, thank you, Isaac, thank you. Um, she said why she did the unit, but usually when they put this type of unit in a black neighborhood, it's always brutality. It's always thugs. Their gangs, and I don't know why is it that when we understand what's going on in the black community, why is it that we see that there's a need for this stuff, we see that there's an issue, we see that things are happening, we see that here, I'm gonna stop sharing for a minute. We see that it's time for us to do something different, but like I said, with these churches, we'll continually doing something that's not working. I don't understand why is it that we see something's not working, but we don't do anything about it. Why don't we create something that will work? How do you guys, what would you guys do? And I'm gonna share the link because you guys might want to come on here and say something. But why is it that don't we don't fix the problem? Why is it that we maintain and keep doing stuff um that don't work? We've been doing stuff, and this same stuff has been happening since slavery. Okay, since the slave patrol formed, and that's what the police department is, the slave patrol. Okay, why is it that we see stuff and not do anything about it? What can we do? Well, we can, for one, we can hold our money. I mean, and I think our money is like 1.2 trillion dollars. We can hold our money. We can stop participating in the system. We can come and create our own nationality. We can separate from their system. We can vote in some positive black folk that we know, that we vetted, that we know that's going to do a good job. Bakari, you'll make a good mayor. I'm just saying. And we know that Bakari is going to do it right, right? Why can't we put in people like Isaac Ford as a mayor or you know what I'm saying? Or maybe a city council. But when you run for these offices, you have to run for, you have to have help. You can't do it by yourself. If Bakari's the mayor, he's got to have 3 city council members that's going to vote and help him to move some stuff along. Because we can actually get things done locally if we ran for these offices. The ones like myself and Bakari, and let's ask why, and bitter medicine. Y'all could run for these offices. It just don't take. Why are we just sitting back allowing other people to be in control of us that we know that's not going to do anything for us, and we know that they part of the boule? We know the boule has never had our backs. Oh, hey, I'm trying to get your name. Millennial. Let's do that. Okay, Cecily, millennial. Okay, welcome, welcome, welcome. But well, I look what you're saying. Oh God, yes. If we left and took our money, America would be done. Yes, yes, yes. I believe that. But this is what I'm saying. Only buy like what you need. Okay, for the next 30 days. I'm like, only buy what you need. Don't go all out and buy the car. Don't buy no, and you're getting ready to get your taxes. Hold on to your taxes. We can literally bankrupt this country. We can literally do it, but we don't want to. Why don't we want to? Because we don't want change. Why do we want change? Because we're used to what we've been getting. Why are we used to what we've been getting? Because we've never noticed, or we've never witnessed anything different. Anything we've never seen where we can do something different. I'm gonna tell you something. This was sent to me, and I'm trying to see where it is. And I really want to look at this guy, and I want y'all to look him up because they said this dude right here, everything he would always investigate stuff that was done that black folk did in the past that they're not doing now. And it kind of almost helps you to understand that, wow, they didn't always have police in America. We didn't always have police. Hold on, let me see. Hold on, I'm gonna find this one. We didn't always have police. Okay. If we didn't always have police, what did we have? What did we always have? I want you guys to look up this guy. Hold on, let me see. Let me see. Hold on. I think this is him. Hold on, let me see. Solomon Sir Jones films. I want you guys to look him up. Rare book. He had he used to write books, but I want you guys to look him up. See that dude right there? I want y'all to look him up. Okay. He talked, what was that was his name, Solomon Sir Jones films. Okay. I want you guys to look him up. And I'm gonna look him up right now. I want you guys I wanna do this really quick, you guys. Help you out here. I'm gonna look him up really super quick because I wanted to kind of bring him up. I just forgot to bring him up to look him up. But he would tell, give you like, he would never let you forget as far as what black folk did in the past. And because nobody is talking about it now, we don't remember the time when black folk, um, when there wasn't a police officer, when there wasn't police, right? But there was a time we didn't have police. I don't want to talk about the film. I want to see. I just want to introduce him to you guys, and you guys can Black History Month. I don't just do stuff for Black History Month. I like to um Okay, he did rear color footage, blacks. He did a lot of films too, but I kind of want to just introduce a little bit about him. I'm not gonna be on here long. I'm about done now because I know I don't like to make my lives really super long. Let me go in here and I'm gonna share my screen a little bit. I just want to share. Um, yes, we did Slave Patrol. Share my screen. I'm gonna do this Solomon person right here. The entire screen. Okay, let me go up here. Hold on, y'all. Bear with me. Y'all bear with us, sister. Thank you. I appreciate y'all bearing with me a little bit. I just want to introduce you, and you guys can go and look this guy up. Yep. I want y'all to look. Yep, this dude was supposed to be. Okay, was that the one I wanted to show you guys? I wanted to show you this one here. I'm gonna go back over here and see if you guys can see. Okay. This was Sir Solomon Sir Jones did the films for what 24 to 29, 28. He was a fear what Solomon's Sir Jones films consisted of 29 silent black and white films documenting African American communities in the Oklahoma from 24 to 28. Okay, he did documentaries. He was a Baptist minister, businessman, and amateur filmmaker. Brown was born in Tennessee to parents who had once been enslaved. He grew up in the South before moving to Oklahoma in 1889. Oh my God, that's way back in the day. Then understand the power of their spend. And yes, I do believe that they have no idea. Hey, forecast, welcome. Have no idea about Solomon Jones. Okay, why you think, girl, why y'all think this history is hidden? It's a whole lot of people we don't know anything about, but let's just read just a little bit about him. He grew up in what South before moving to Oklahoma in 1889. Jones became an influential Baptist minister, building and pastoring 15 churches. Wow. He was head of the Boyd faction of Negro Baptists in America and was a successful businessman. Description of the paper: Solomon Sir Jones Field consists of 29 silent black and white films documenting African American communities in Oklahoma. The film was from 24 to 28, 1924 to 28. The film measures 12,800 feet. All films are BY positive prints except one roll that contains approximately, okay, he filmed Oklahoma residents in their homes during their social school and church communities in the businesses they owned and performed various jobs. The films documented several Oklahoma communities, including Muskegee, uh, o- Okamu- Okamuga. Oh no, I can't pronounce some of these words. Tulsa, Weehawken, Bristow, Taft. The film also documented Jones's trips to Indiana, Texas, Louisiana, Arkansas, Tennessee, Missouri, Indiana, Illinois, New York, South Carolina, Colorado, and overseas for France, England, Palestine, Switzerland. Wow, Italy, Northern Africa, Germany. Slates between scenes, identifying local and dates and subjects. I'm going to really investigate this. Jones frequently filmed at various locations by positioning himself outside a building when people exited the building in a line. The perspective provides footage of people as they walked by. Camera usually looked directly at it. Footage of churches and includes congregants existing the exiting the services. Socializing outside. Footage of schools often includes students playing outside or doing exercises, and footage of people at their home, including they're outside on their porches, in their yards, aside from churches and scheduled school activities. People presumably exiting at Jones' request for the purpose of being filmed by him. I'm telling you, I'm going to read some more about this. And these are the different films that he had. One 1922, churches, 1925 churches. He did churches, schools, and other locations in Clearview. Also, then he had another one. So he's had some films. I'm gonna watch some of this stuff and see what's what. Turkey Day, churches, residents, churches, offices, and residents, workplaces, and so he did. He's got quite a few on here. If you guys want to check it out, but yeah, look at his little. This is his. He's got quite a few. Okay, and I'm gonna pull up one. I just want to do one. Let me just see what one. I just want to see what will one do. Let's see here. Let's go back up here. Residence, workplace. Let's just see if we can click on one just to see what it does. If anything, I don't know. Let's see what. Let's just see. Oh my goodness, this will be so cool. Let's see what we got. I don't know if it's not gonna say anything. It just pretty much shows you. Can y'all see that? Okay. They don't have any sound to them. Slices from torn frames, a few ripped perforation, time coded, Chris runs digital video. Yeah, but they just showing you just activities of Black people, um, homes and land, and just doesn't really. It's not. They're quiet. They're silent films. Nobody's talking or anything. So I don't know. It's just I just wanted to kind of press on one just to see what was one. I think it's kind of neat. He had the families up there and everything. Well, you guys, I told you I wasn't gonna be on here long. I just wanted to kind of touch it, touch bases a little bit. You guys, I'm gonna stop sharing now. I don't like these long lives. I just wanted you guys to help me to understand why is it that we have an issue with moving forward. And the only thing I can think of right now is to hold your money. That's something that I would do. Yeah, we've been putting in the work a long time. Yeah, we've been putting in the work, but we ain't been getting no results. We've been putting in the work doing what? Putting in the work. We got to put in more work. We got to do some. We have to come up with stuff that's going to work. Stop marching. I've seen people, we got to march. I'm not going to waste my time. I'm going to hold my money. My thing is, I'm holding my money. And my thing is to keep investing other places. We lost that work at yeah, we lost it. I'm telling you, I see it now and dealing with just with the business. And I'm telling you, I have gone to like working with the parole, the judges. Right now, I'm working with some parole officers. I've entered this reentry program, and a lot of people now that's joining Ram in the Bush is felons. But I'm getting them in school. This time, and some of these felons are entrepreneurs. And my thing is, if I can get them, and some of them, I'm signing them up for the CDO program, and I have some great things coming up as far as the CDO program. I'm not going to talk about it right now because I'm still working some things out, and I'm going to attach it to Ram in the Bush, so we'll be able to. In fact, hold on, you guys, plug my computer up. In fact, we'll be able, hopefully, to have a CDO program in my area dealing with Ram in the Bush. But hold on, let me plug my computer up. Hold your horses, hold your horses, hold your horses, hold your horses. Okay. Yeah, so we got some great things coming up as far as Ram in the Bush is concerned. And I told you a lot. I was going to the schools, and one school, several schools, three schools to be exact. I wasn't getting a whole lot of traction from. And then I went to one school. I've connected with her. It's called the Point in Greensboro. She's, her students are calling, and we're either putting them in classes, or a lot of them want to on the job training. A lot of them want that CDO program. So it's something that's coming down the pike. Y'all stay tuned for that. Hopefully, it's going to be 2 locations. So we're going to talk about that a little later. I didn't want to get into it right now, but it's going to be connected to Realm of the Bush, and we're going to actually offer that program through us. And she's going to have 2 we'll talk about it later. I just don't want to put it out there too long or too early, because I want to see how I can really work that program. Okay, it's going to be really nice because a lot of people want that CDO program. A lot of people are doing that, wanting that, and a lot of people can have their own business doing that. It keeps growing. I know it's growing, and not even, it keeps growing into, a bigger vision. And I'm like, wow, but I'm just allowing it to do that because it's, it's Most High's vision. Okay. I'm just walking in. I'm just allowing him to use me the way he wants to use me for this foundation. So we was talking about even with housing, okay, because a lot of the felons can't even find housing, and a lot of them are going to be homeless. But a lot of them I've worked with, and I have the CDO class. One is through GTCC, which is an 8 week, but I'm trying to do the 4 week, so we can, if they are there for 4 months or up to 6 months, they can get the training living inside the facility, and they can be stacking their monies, but they can only work locally until they're done with the program. And then after the program, they'll be able to go nationwide. But if they can stack their monies, they're going to start out making $65,000, $70,000 a year. These are people that probably ain't made over $12, $15 because they've been in prison. So, but they can get their own business. They can get their certificate, and they can open up their own business, or they can continue working with my girlfriend. She's going to put them to work. And we have other people that we're going to partner them up with, but we're going to give our guys that's coming out of prison an opportunity. And I really wanted to look around. And this week, I'm going to spend some time looking around the area for housing, because I heard my girlfriend was telling me also that I can partner. And if I see like an empty house, I do know people that renovate homes, that they can actually renovate these houses, and I can actually use them and partner with the government and supply housing for felons that's coming out of prison. So this is huge. I mean, we talked about the housing before, but I didn't know that the city would actually donate houses to the foundation. I didn't know anything about that. And now I'm looking into it. I don't know how I'm going to spend some time Monday doing that to see how I can partner with the housing for the felons that's coming out of prison, to give them a place to live, even if it's a very nice boarding house. I prefer to get it, that's kind of far out a little bit, and let that, them rent the rooms, and we'll put, rent the rooms, and, maybe I can get a 5 bedroom, 4 bedroom, but we're going to start looking around for housing. And that way, when they leave this facility that I'm working with, they can actually transfer to one of our houses. So that's another option. So we got some things in the fire. We just trying and hoping that it's going to work out, and just talking to the right people. So y'all be, keep us, we got this thing. We got this. I know we do. Isaac, what you said, the Most High is putting Black people through all of this stuff, because he is going to give them everything in the world to come. You ain't lying about that one. No, that note, I'm going to call it today. We're done. That was a great one. I love it, Isaac. You guys, I did want to be on here. I think hours long enough. I'm out. My husband ready to go to dinner. He's ready to go to lunch right now or whatever. And I'm going to leave on that note. Isaac, that was the best comment I seen, because I'm going to put that one up here, because I really do believe that. I really believe that's true. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. It's 3:43 right now, so you guys go spend some time with your family. Get ready to do that myself. And y'all have a good one. Peace. And we'll talk next week. And forecast, I'll see you. You have a live at 8 o'clock tonight. I will try to be there. I hope I don't forget, but I'll put it in my phone so I won't forget. But I'll be there. I've been loving his Black history. For me, is amazing. I'm telling you, if somebody come up with school, they can use forecasts as his what he's been doing as far as the Black history. They can use that to teach our history. I'm serious. I love that forecast thing. So we will see forecast at 8 o'clock tonight. Y'all be there. Okay. And we'll talk to you later. Yes, please send it to me, forecast. Thank you, everybody, and take care. And we'll see you next Sunday. Bye for now.